Hello, good evening. Welcome to week 3. In this step, we'll have the opportunity to participate in GLOW, a discussion to identify a common research problem. This space will allow us to share ideas, hear different perspectives, and collaboratively will and agree with me on the problem we will address. The goal is that by the end of this activity, we'll have a clear, relevant, and feasible research problem to develop in the coming weeks. Let's begin.
Okay, thank you, Isabel. And let's go. I going to the chart the result of my diagnosis test analysis. In my group, there are 23 students, and the main difficulty I identify is a lack of an English vocabulary. Most of the students are around B1 level, but there are 8 students closer to 8-2, which means they had problems expressing their ideas clearly and coherently. In addition, 3 students are below A1 and they present very serious difficulties because they cannot ever understand or use basic words in simple context. And this problem with vocabulary affects different skills. For example, it has a different impact of reading comprehension because the students cannot recognize a count word to understanding in the text. It also limits their reading production since they use very few words and repeat the same expression. Finally, is it affects oral fluency because the students hesitate too much and depend on Spanish translation. As a result, their confidence decreases when they participate in communicate activities, and many of them feel afraid and making mistakes. For this reason, I can conclude that improve vocabulary is essential in order to support reading, and speaking development in the groups. Thank you.
Hello, college. My name is Julia Alejandra Herrera Diaz. Some challenges you may encounter on my stage were lack of motivation and disciplines, diversity of learning levels and styles, inadequate resources, technological. 1. Lack of motivation and disciplines. Learning a language requires constant practice. Students lack the motivation and discipline to make steady progress. 2. Diversity levels and styles. Teachers face the challenge of serving students with very different positions in learning preference. Within the same classroom, this requires differentiations, pedagogical implementation of strategies tailored to each student's needs. Adequate resource. The shortage of teaching materials limits students' ability understands abstract concepts, their motivation, and hinders the development of critical skills. And 4, technological innovation. Mm, The technology is fundamental in education because it transforms and enhances the teaching and learning process, adapting it to the needs of today's society and preparing students for the challenge of the future. Allows a student to learn their own pace or offering additional resource or resources activities based on their individual needs. Thanks.
Okay, best regards, classmates and tutor. Um, my name is Milena Duran. I like my college, Helen, although there are there are there are many sorry, there are many challenges facing current education in this particular corner on the world. In my case, I highlight the limited vocabulary displayed by many students. 5 or 6 out of 30 students have extensive vocabulary and retain words, as well as easily pronunciate and understand grammatical structures and tenses. The rest show no motivation or prefer attractive visual materials, thus actively participating in class. It is it is goals hand in hand. If there is not interesting or desire to learn, they hardly retain new vocabulary. I also highlight poor spelling and identification of simple words like, for example, she, are, or they. I have noticed that many students write as that the word is pronounced, not as that the spelling indicates. No more classmates. Thank you.
My name is Isabella, and the problematic, a significant challenge faced by two students is the lack of regular opportunities to practice English outside the classroom. Many of them do not have access to situation where they can consistently listen to speak or read in English in their daily lives. These limits exposures reduce their overall contact with the language, making it harder for them to learn and remember new vocabulary, improve their pronunciation, and build confidence in communicating effectively. Without this ongoing practice, their process in English becomes slower and they struggle to develop natural fluency and understanding. Sense.
Hello everyone, good evening. I would like to share with you the main challenge that I identified in grade 504 after analyzing the diagnostic results. The group shows an uneven level of English proficiency. 6 students are at A1, 3 at A2, and only 1 student in B1. This means that most of them are still in a very basic stage of learning. They can usually recognize their isolated words, such as numbers, family members, or food, but they face difficulties when they try to use those words in complex sentences. The problem becomes more evident with the use of pronouns and the verb to be. Many students hesitate and make frequent mistakes or simply wait for the teacher to model the answer before participating. This shows a strong dependence and a guidance and a tailored confidence to use English independently. For this reason, I believe the Pedagogical challenge for the group is to help students move from word recordization to sentence production. They need opportunities to practice vocabulary, mindful context, using basic grammar structures. Visual and auditory support, games, and collaborative tasks can create a safe environment for practice. Stronger learners, like those in A2 and B1, can also support their peers. In conclusion, this challenge isn't only about vocabulary or grammar. It's about building confidence and independence. If we focus on strategies that combine repetition, interaction, and peer learning, students will gradually feel capable of expressing their ideas in English, even in short and simple ways. Thank you.
Dennis. The lack of the teaching resource in English language teaching affects student motivation and performance, creates inequality in access to quality education, and limits teachers' ability to innovate and create a magnified learning experience. This shortage impedes effective learning, fosters boredom and desmotivation, and hinders the development of key language skills, negatively impacting the quality of education. Thanks, Yarlenis.
Okay, I'm in this meeting. We are agree with Sally and the problem of Sally. The lack of technology is a real challenge in our context because many students only depend on the teacher's explanation and have no access to digital tools at home. This limits their exposures to authentic English input like videos or interactive exercises and makes it harder to practice beyond the classroom. Thank you.
Thanks, Helen.
Um,
Yes, sorry. I agree with my classmate Soli, point as the lack of technology represent a really challenge in the teaching and learning process, especially in English as foreign language. It reduces access to authentic materials, limits interactive practice, and makes it difficult to personalize learning for students. Thank you.
okay, my friends, I share the choice challenges because it is a challenge. The lack of technological resource in much of Colombia is notable. This, this leads to low levels of second language acquisition in this case, English, and there are even areas where there are not Wi-Fi networks. It's bad. Thank you.
Okay, so as a group, we all agree that this problem, the lack of technology is a key challenge in our context. Recognizing this difficult helps w- us think about creative strategies and resources we can use to support our students, even with the limitation we face. Thanks a lot, and this is a end of the meeting. Bye.